I got really excited playing the song. I was in here dancing.
That was a cool song. That was a good opening.
So I'm really excited to have Varun with us. You know, Varun, we got to talk to Sean, we got to talk to Robin. It's all pre-level up day, so I know you're super busy getting your team ready for that. So I really appreciate you just jumping on and spending some time with us. But I told everybody today we were going to talk tech. We'll talk software tech with Varun. And in case, I'm sure everybody knows who you are by now, but for those of you who don't, if you're going to the monthly town halls and you're seeing Varun, he is the, you know how I remember your name, Varun? You are the race car in the skateboard, and it makes me think vroom, meaning you're gonna take it to the end. So
Well, that's
tell us
a good way to remember it, and that's how a lot of people pronounce it anyway. So
with
you're
an
right.
M? Oh no no no! It just makes me think like he's the fast car. He's gonna get us to where we need. Varun is vroom. But anyway, so let's tell people just a little bit about. I'm going to let you tell people a little bit about what you do with High Level, and so that way they can get to know you and understand who you are and what you do. So take it away.
For sure. So I started off as a software engineer. So at my first company, that's where I met Sean. Both of us used to work together. And this is 2006, 7. So it was really early. And we built a bunch of software together. Then we went apart because I left to go to a different company. Sean left to start his own company. And a few years later, we reconnected. And both of us knew the SMB market really well from our previous experience. And there was a lot of trust in each other, and we knew that any product that we wanted to, we could build. So what we were really searching for is what can we build that will sell. So from an engineering standpoint, we had confidence in ourselves, but we didn't know how we could sell the product or who's going to be interested in it. And that's really the journey that we started on. And it was 2 or 3 years of us building different iterations. We built an invoicing app for small business, didn't work out. We built appointment scheduling, job dispatching for HVAC teams, plumbers, those type of people, but that didn't work. We built scheduling software and review software for doctors, didn't take off. And we just kept trying different things. And with a lot of these iterations, one thing we discovered is some of these could have worked, but it required us to hire a sales team, maybe get some money or venture capital from someone, and then start cold calling people in order to start making the sales. And we were looking to see, hey, is there any way that we can build this company organically, and can we build it profitably from day one? And that's what prevented us from going that route. And that's when, through this iterative journey, that's when we met Robin. Because through each of these steps, we still collected a few customers, not a lot, but 3 customers when we built uh, the software for doctors for scheduling and reputation management, and a couple when we launched High Level. High Level was reputation management software when we first launched it. So through those common customers, we met Robin, and when we met him, we had, I think, maybe reputation management conversations, contacts, and maybe campaigns or triggers in there. And we had collected a few customers on it. And when we met him, that's when we it opened our eyes to the agency world, like how big of a role the agency plays in selling to the SMB, and how much assistance they actually provide in picking the software. So it's not even implementing towards the outcome. Who tells the SMB which software to go sign up for? It's usually the agency that says, hey, these are the tools I need you to get me in order to help you out.
Hmm.
And I think just when our eyes were open to that, it just completely changed our world. And then we started building towards the agency engine.
Yeah, so I started on, I guess it was about 3.5 years ago, on the UI where we didn't have the bar for marketing. It was just everything was to the left and to the right. So all of my first round of training videos was done on that. And I keep thinking, oh, I could just reuse those, right? Oh no, it looks totally different. Like when I'm going into each one. So we get it. There's the new UI that you're doing, the new international. So you were working on that original platform, and so I'm assuming, are you using a different type of coding or a different platform to bring on this new UI experience that we're seeing? Because it really looks beautiful. I mean, was that
Yeah.
just something you were like, okay, this is going to be a project and we're going to have to, this is going to be a while? Explain that to all of us.
So the way we like to build is always to build from within, where we don't want to build a new platform or have users jump through hoops that they don't have to. So we knew that our current customer is here, is using this every day, and we need to improve this, but we need to improve it while they continue to use the platform. So it was going to be a bit of a long term effort. And the first choice that we made was, hey, we're going to take these standardized components that we use across the app, because as our team was growing, so when we first started building, it was just me and Sean writing code.
Mhm.
Then the first year we had maybe 10 engineers, then maybe 60, 70 the next year. Today we have over 200 engineers on the team.
Wow.
So when you have such a large team that's building, you need to have some standardization. So we built a component library that all of the different teams could use. And the nice thing is, when we decide that we want to improve it, or it doesn't look like it was built in this age, we can have one centralized point at which we can go and make the design changes, and it applies across the entire platform. So we wouldn't really have to go page by page and make the app
Mm.
look better. So we wanted to use the standardized components across, and with different teams working on it, that also means there's like the workflow front end is a completely different application to the funnel,
Mhm.
to the
Oh, sorry
all
about
of
that.
these all of these
Let's
are
mute this.
completely different applications. So you have these different teams that are all building separate applications, and then you bind them all together for our customer before release. And for that, I mean, to get more technical, we use something called module federation there. But all of these are micro apps that are built by different teams within our org that are then bound together for the customer.
Yeah, I think it's really looking good. Are you feeling like the whole new? Well, let me go backwards. I like this better because softwares usually do version one, new release version two. And I love how we don't do that. Just like what you said, it's just basically seamless. The trick for us is every day just paying attention to what's new, right? And jumping in the town hall, hearing what we're working on, seeing what you guys are doing, watching Sean Clark's video on what's new, right? And
Yeah.
I'm sure he's just dying right now before level up. He's like, it's just piling up. So I'm getting really excited about that. But do you feel like the UI itself, in all general aspects, the kind of the look and the feel is going to pretty much stay the same? We're just tweaking what is the user experience, or do you feel like there's more to come in that UI experience overall?
So I think for the most part, we have reached an end state for the time being.
Yeah.
The funnel still have some improvements coming out. The new workflow UI is out. The new dashboard is partly out, but there's a few more improvements to that coming really soon. I think level up. The calendar screen. So officially, the oldest part of our app is the calendar screen that we have. When you go to appointments and you switch to the calendar view, that view of the appointments is the oldest part of the app, because everything else has gone through a version 2 or 3, or have moved
Right.
forward. But that's going to change pretty soon as well. I think once those settle down, there won't be any significant changes in the short term to any of the app.
Yeah, and I have to be honest, I have used, and Crystal can tell you this, over the last 14 years, I have tried personally to run my business so many CRMs, right? I was an original ACT person, and I was an original, and I remember when I originally signed up with ACT, and the ability to create your own custom fields in ACT was like, whoa, and Goldmine was already doing that. And so that's kind of, maybe I'm showing my age here, but using the software, and then even now, gosh, I mean, it's just, it's, you guys really do listen to the user,
Yeah.
because every way it's built, even when I'm talking, it's like arrow back, arrow this, there's so many really cool features in there that I think, it's just like look at this, it takes you here, and this takes you here. And it's just like a seamless communication, contacts, conversations, opportunities, just the basics. And us being able to teach our customers, the basics to get around. Then when you get to the more complex things, it's like, it really makes sense. What you've done is it makes sense to the user. It's easy to train. I think what I like to do is I like to encourage agencies and marketers and SaaSpreneurs to get in and use the software, because you can't sell it if you don't use it. You don't know the value, and if you're like me, you get really excited about it, right? So do you feel like this has been, I mean, I'm guessing you love this side of the tech, right? I mean, how do you feel when it comes to like working with, I mean, you're working with a lot of people. You got the developers, right? Then you've got the Sean Clark's, us as the users, the ideas board. How do you feel, or how do you kind of organize all that? And I've been kind of stressing to people, guys, the ideas board is important. You can find it inside of your agency. You can be involved. You can vote. The more votes. How do you feel like when it comes to looking at all the votes and the development? Is it, I know sometimes you'll do like one that has a vote that has like three or four, but it made sense to do because it was kind of common. And then sometimes we'll be like, 600 something votes, right? On
Yeah.
whatever reoccurring.
Yeah.
How do you actually organize that on the back end with your team, with us? What do we
So
need to
the
know to be more involved and help you?
so the ideas list does have a lot of power, and previously this was just really internal to us. But to communicate that, we want all of our customers to understand that it's important to us. So when we do the roadmap reveal, so if you look at the town hall,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure, I think even in the last town hall we did this, but if not, it will come in all future town halls, and even in our internal roadmap presentations, along with the items that they're actually deciding to build for the upcoming quarter. The product managers actually have a screenshot of the idea from the ideas list and how many votes it had, and that plays a huge part in us deciding which one to build. And you are right, there will be times where we pick one or two random items that
Hmm.
didn't have too many votes, but it felt like a bug, or it
Hmm.
really impacts a particular customer in a certain way, and we will prioritize it. So even recently we had one customer who was dependent on a particular feature coming out in proposals and estimates for them to be able to sell, and they had a big event coming up. They'd already planned it. They thought the feature will already be out by then, and proposals and estimates was out, but the part that they needed was not out yet. And they reached out, and we looked at where it was on the roadmap. It was on our short list to do, but it was going to happen 3 or 4 weeks later. So we just reprioritized the roadmap to add that in, to make sure that we push that out ahead of time, just so that customer will be able to show that off when they went on stage. So we will sometimes shuffle things along to make sure that it helps some of our customers along the way.
And
But for
it's
the
got to
most
make
part,
sense, though,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
that's
but it's got to. So if that customer had asked for something that wasn't on our list at all, or that we hadn't
right,
planned for, then we wouldn't. I mean, it would have been hard for us to add that in, because
right.
it's what makes sense for the majority. But in this case, it was on the list, but we had to work on it ahead of a few other items. Sure, we can do that for a customer. So,
Hmm.
we will reprioritize those type of items. But for the most part, we're really sticking to the ideas list. So the number of votes matter a lot.
Now, when we're in labs, like so when we turn on a lab and we're playing with it, you've got that button submit feedback. How does that work when, we'll go in through it, we'll play, and then I'll submit something. How does that work on your end when those come in?
So all of these, so for each of our product areas, we have a dedicated product manager who owns the roadmap, who owns the feedback, and all of those pieces for the product area. And then there's a engineering team behind them as well. So what happens when you submit that feedback is it goes into one of our internal portals where that product manager looks at all of the feedback. And even on the Facebook threads where there's questions about how a certain thing works or requests, we'll always tag the product manager in. So that's the person that's responsible for figuring out what we have to do next to have the most impact for a particular product area. And they then take that, and we're starting next quarter, we're going to have them start setting up mini town halls for each of the product areas as well. So instead of just the one big town hall, invite for each product area, invite 20 customers who are using your product uh, a lot, and invite 20 customers who are using the same features that your product has but not within Highlevel, somewhere else, and they're not able to move over because they have some concerns or there's something that doesn't work for them inside Highlevel. And put together that group of 30 to 40 customers, and every month you meet with that 30 to 40 people along with the entire dev team, and it's a mini town hall where you focus just on that one area, on funnels, on proposals and estimates. So that way there's a active roadmap, and there's a way to push each of these features towards the finish line without having to share space with everyone else, because on the big town hall there's limited amount of time, there's only a
Mm-hmm.
limited number of questions. So there might be 10 or 20 improvements we can make in forms and surveys or funnels, but we might never get to them because of the other questions for the other product areas. So how do we make sure that we increase the surface area so a lot more of this can be addressed?
It was really fun. You guys do a really good job at that, and I can and attest to this because they reached out to me. I did a lot of social media, and so I met with Pooja, and that was during the social media posting and scheduling, and she actually recorded the Zoom where I was showing her the software apps that I was currently using that were the most common, and it was such a good meeting. She got so much out of it, and I think when we're using other kind of competitor softwares, I think it's so brilliant because once it was live, I was done. I moved in a minute. I was like, that's it, we're done. And then, of course, I started sharing, hey, everybody, come here. There's more coming, but come do this. And I think I love that idea. I like that you're getting us involved in that. And I think more people, you know, this software is so powerful. It's just so powerful. And the process is so powerful. So, anyway, I loved that she did
No,
that.
but
And I
that is
love
how
that.
we do it. So, I
Yeah.
mean, there is no secret here. The way we do it is purely by listening to feedback. And I mean, you just talked about how you've used so many CRMs and Act.
Yep.
The funny thing is, I've never used it, but we can build something that's better than Act purely because
Yeah.
our customers are telling us how to do it. Because you've
Yep.
taken all of your experiences with every software that you've had, you know what the best of it was, what the worst of it was. And we don't have to figure all of this out ourselves. All we need to do is listen to all of our customers, and you've already figured it out, which is what we're good at doing. We're good at listening to our customers and building what it is that
Absolutely.
they need.
Now, are you part of the marketplace on what's going on with the marketplace? So,
Yeah.
with a marketplace, can you kind of explain that to people? I'm saying, hey, come here. You can get some apps, but you're bringing on or approving people and apps that complement what you guys are not doing. Is that correct? I'm gonna let you explain it, but yeah, tell us about the marketplace.
So we're going to do both. The marketplace that we really like is QuickBooks Online.
Hmm.
They do a really good job with their marketplace. They don't charge their developers for building or maintaining apps in there. They allow their developers to build apps that compete with internal features within the product. Like there are tons of payment apps in there, but QuickBooks themselves has payments. So a lot of those are philosophies that we like. So we allow, even if someone is replacing SMS inside the app, there are WhatsApp integrations that are available in the marketplace today. But we have WhatsApp. I mean, internally
Hmm.
it's in private beta with maybe 20 or 30 customers. Will be released soon. But even when it's released, the people in the marketplace continue to operate the same way they are. There will be reasons and use cases for which people will prefer the marketplace products. There will be reasons and use cases where they pick ours as well. So for us, as long as we help the end customer get to their goal, it doesn't matter if they used our WhatsApp or if they used a marketplace WhatsApp, as long as they're able to get to the end outcome that they want to. And with the app itself, previously the way we used to operate is, hey, let's build the app and the features that we want, and then based off requests that we get from the developer community, what APIs do we need to enable for them to be able to build on top of us. And the problem there is, you need to be highly motivated to come to us and ask us for these APIs, wait around for us to build those APIs for you, and then build on top of them. But moving forward, what we're switching to is we're going to be API first. The same day the feature releases,
Hmm.
whatever you're able to do from inside the high level app, you're also able to do using the API same day, the same day the release ships out. And it is a bit of a transition, and with a team of 200 engineers, you can imagine like not everyone's going to be able to switch to that model on the same day.
Right.
But I think after level up, by November we'll get to a place where with almost every release that goes out, all of the APIs to perform the same actions that you can inside the app can also be done with the API. And the idea there is, how can we allow people to leverage and build on top of us even more? So we see a lot of examples today of people who do one thing really well. They've built a communities app for a particular real estate niche, but they want to provide them all of the other tools. Or they've built a survey or a calendar app towards a specific niche that works slightly differently than everything else, but they still want the rest of it. And all of these type of teams are now starting to white label high level for all of their needs. And it's not just the SaaSpreneur model. The SaaSpreneurs, they take the tools that we give them, they mix them up, brand them, style them, and apply a bunch of processes and other things for the businesses and sell it down. These are people who are putting in actual dev work to customize the platform for their use cases. But instead of their dev team having to build everything, their dev team just builds one thing, the thing that's most
Mm.
important to their niche or their user base. And we're starting to call this the high level cloud platform. And that ties in very closely with the API first approach. So if someone wants to build project management but build it differently, aim towards a certain niche, and then have high level fill in for all the other features, how do we make that possible? And the app they build needs to talk to the high level app in every way. Like they build project management, how do we make sure that those tasks show up inside the contacts pages? And how do we make sure that those tasks can be linked to an opportunity card on the pipeline? So it needs to really integrate seamlessly. It can't just be a side app that they built. And that's where the API first approach really will help. It'll make sure that anything that we can do from within the UI, they're able to do with the API.
And you guys are running a test model basically on the back end before we even click it. We know it's going to work. We can feel confident in the marketplace, basically, not
Exactly.
somebody sending us a instant message with a yeah. Right. No, that's
Yeah.
that's that's really fun. So let's talk about 2024. I'm avoiding the level up day. Let me go backwards. Level up day we is Tuesday, right? When we talk about all the releases, and then you
Yeah.
guys release to the group all that information Tuesday or
On,
Wednesday?
I think on Thursday,
Oh, on
uh,
Thursday. So after, then the whole
event.
group gets to know what's up. Okay, so Thursday, level up week. If you're not going, definitely jump in the group. It's everything's going to be there. So we got that part. What are we looking at for 2024? What do you think is on the? I mean, what is? I know you've got a roadmap, right? Q1 probably for 2024. Can you share with us that?
So I think we have for Q4 and Q1, and some of this will come as part of the presentation as well. But we're looking at, again, things that help people build for all these different use cases. I think custom objects is something that's really
Hmm.
popular internally, and we will likely build, because for use cases like an auto dealer where they have inventory on the lot, like what cars do they have, and can people go to their dealer's website and be able to search and filter through the cars? And when they express interest in a particular car, can that car be linked to the opportunity card created for them? And so there's a lot of those type of use cases, and you can apply this. You can take the same thing and change it to houses for realtors. Can the realtor have all of their listings on a website, and when someone expresses interest, can that in with an opportunity card to show which house they express interest in? And so there's a lot of use cases like that that we can build with custom objects. So that's something that's really popular internally. I think A/B testing on the workflow builder has been hugely requested. I think that will get done. Outside of that, I mean, from the Q4, so not just Q1, just the Q4 roadmap, because we consider all the way to level up to be Q3. We
Hmm.
extend
Gotcha.
Q3 by a bit just to get to level up. So just the Q4 roadmap has about 960 items. We
Whoa.
just counted because we were preparing the presentation for the level up deck. So there's a lot of items that are going out. I think automatic review replies or something is coming out. The calendar team is working on something cool called the Calendar Platform Initiative. That's the idea that we allow third party developers and the internal team to build features on the calendar as quickly as possible. So instead of the calendar team building for each use case, where today they're like, hey, for spa salons, we need a certain type of booking flow, let's build that. And next, move on. Hey, we need equipment rental, we need rooms to be part of the booking. So we're just building for each use case today. But instead, what the calendar team is going to do is build the core platform and availability in such an abstract manner that any person, either an internal developer or an external developer, can come in and build any booking use case on top of it. And the minute they get to that, whatever you want to book, you want to book a hotel room, you want to book a trip or something, like you
Block
want to book a
times.
vacation rental,
Yeah.
whatever it is, you will be able to build for it. And a lot of those are internal teams will build on top of that. But an external developer can also come in and build a booking flow that doesn't exist anywhere else.
Oh, wow,
And
that's cool.
they're really working on breaking that open. And a lot of this is required for us because unlike the other platforms, like if you look at Calendly or HubSpot or any of the others that have scheduling, there's very specific use cases that people use them for. Like you can't go to Calendly and get a spa salon booking use case along with the ability to add guests and have the guests fill up their own preferences for the appointment. Like all of those don't work. But then you go to someone like Booker and Jobber and they work completely differently. You go to HubSpot, it's more like a sales calendar, and Calendly is similar as well. It's almost like a sales calendar. So, but for us, we have to handle all the use cases because we
Right.
have realtors, we have spas, we have salons, we have plumbers, we have salespeople. So
Restaurants,
restaurants.
reservations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're at a point where we cannot just build, and if we keep building features, we will never get there because there's just so many that we have to build for. So what the thought process we're taking is how do we make sure that we enable people to build on top of us anything that they want, and that team can be an internal team or an external team, but they can build on top of it. And the
Yeah, and
first,
for me, just so you know, take a note, the less code for us users, we love you. We
yeah,
love it. The less CSS, I mean, we're just I don't know how many users you're going to know more in your book, but a lot of us just are not technical. I mean, we're coming from and then we've got this next generation of drag and drop mobile apps. I mean, they're like what is this? I don't, know unless they're a coder. So yeah, so
and
my
I,
vote
I
is
mean,
the
the funny
more
thing
you
is
do to help us.
you're probably one of the more advanced users, Kathy. So
I know.
that
I
is,
mean, but I cheat. I mean, I learn from the API guys, right? I mean, but honestly, I'm not. I'm really not. And when I have to go try to find a CSS code or use a Chrome extension, I'm just like, okay, I think I got this, but yeah. I mean, and honestly, the user, the business user, yes, you're going to have the person that runs the software, the admin, but a lot of these guys, they don't have time for that stuff. They're just, I need to get in. I need to manage my contacts. I need to, I love how we're keeping sight of the business owner. But yeah, in the development, and really just in what I've seen before to now, there's been so much less CSS and less trying to code and things like that. But to have the opportunity for the calendars, I think is brilliant because I see a lot of people wanting, exactly like what you're talking about, multiple days, Airbnb type booking. I mean, I can't imagine having to do
and
all
internally,
those.
I think the way this will play out is it won't be code. There will be internal teams that can then quickly go in and build for all these use cases, and they won't have to build from the ground up. But once they build it, it will be almost like a template. So when you go into the
Yeah.
calendar, instead of starting with the current calendar concepts that exist,
Hmm.
be like, hey, who are you trying to accept a booking for yourself or for a business? And if you say for yourself, it's probably a booking link for a single person, and it'll just jump in and just ask you, hey, what durations do you want? But if you say, hey, I'm going to book for a business, what type of business is it? And then you'll say restaurant, spa, whatever. And once you pick, that template just gets applied for your account. So the entire booking flow that you create should be very familiar for your niche or for that particular business type.
So let's talk about memberships and communities. without obviously giving away too much, I figured this out just recently that some of the new people signing up on High Level are not seeing the original library. I haven't logged in to see that, so when I tell them go to the library, here's your URL for the so I have learn and then I have access in the portal. uh, the new people signing up are only seeing the portal and the communities. So is the ultimate goal to move everything into that, where we still have the mobile app? Tell us what's going on
So
with
that
that.
is the goal overall, but there's some gap over there. I think I remember
Mhm.
I saw that thread, so I remember the thread. The goal is to move everything into the client portal, like we call it. So
Mhm.
communities will live there, courses will live there, affiliate commissions will live there. Everything goes into the client portal. But it isn't supposed to transition today. There's still a few. I mean, courses does not even exist within the client portal today. I think there's some gap there, and I asked the internal team, and they said no, we haven't taken anything away yet. So I think we have to figure out what the confusion there is. But overall,
Okay.
yes, long term, the plan is to make sure that they go to the client portal for everything. And there will be, today it's already PWA. So it will be
Mhm.
mobile friendly. You can go look at it on your phone. It will work great. You can add it to your home screen. But there's an actual mobile app coming out as well, which will follow the same format that we have for everything else. There will be a high level app, there will be a lead connector app for people who want to go gray label, and there will be white label apps if people specifically want a white label app for their client portal or communities, courses, whatever it is.
Yeah, so when I came over, I was originally way back, I was Thinkific, big fan. Then Kajabi came along, and I was like, okay, but that was just a mess. But when I got into our membership, it was you hadn't even had the templates yet, the customized templates, and it's amazing. It's simple. It's easy. Yes, there's a little bit of code if you want to put buttons or do anything, but it's not hard. And I'm loving the memberships. I think the communities. I was using Circle.io. Keep that simple. That's going to be amazing. And then the new portal. I'm understanding we're going to be having the ability to have invoicing, contracts, documents. I mean, that's like a whole nother world to managing. So some people I think are looking at the portal as, okay, this is great, but then us course creators just kind of have that course line. Here's my course, here's this, jump into my community, this is
Yeah.
done. The portal is, really good for the documents, like the maybe real estate contracts, things like that they're tracking in a business. So I really, everything is, when we go to create a course, it's easy. It's easy to create a course. It's easy to do that. It's easy to have our own URL. I love it. It's very simple. Um, adding the communities level. I love the course card picture in the communities. I think if we go to that look, we're really competing with the teachables and the Thinkifics and the new UI look, and so that's really exciting. The ability to turn off and control. I know you're going to get there at some point. I think that's really good. One of the things that y'all said was that when memberships first came out, a lot of you didn't realize how big it was going to be. Is what
Yeah.
I heard. So tell us a little bit about that. I mean, do you think more people said, "Wow, I can create a course," and jumped in, or do you think you just captured all these other people into this market?
So I think a majority of the people moved over from other platforms. It isn't that people discovered courses within high level and decided to build their first course. Most of the people were moving courses over from other platforms, and I think that reflects in the user numbers as well, because they were moving over existing courses and in some cases existing user bases as well.
Mhm.
The numbers started to grow pretty quickly. So for the first year or two, while we were still building memberships and it wasn't feature complete, about 50,000 users a month would maybe log into the membership courses. But now we're seeing millions. And last level up, when
Wow.
we pulled the stat, I think it was about 2.5 million users who were using the membership area every month. And that is logging in to take a course or view a course with inside the app. And we're pulling the stats for this year, but I'm certain we would have more than doubled in
Wow.
terms of volume and usage. So I think we'll have 5-6 million people taking courses on the high level platform.
Do you foresee any new 2024 beyond, any new additional features that we may add on the left side? We've got everything, I feel like, but put on your genie
On the left
hat. Do
side, I
you?
think custom objects and those type of things will hide
Mhm.
somewhere. With
Yeah.
conversations, we're talking about a few cool ideas. Um, we have, I think, quite a few real estate people inside high level because the real estate
Oh,
ideas seem
yeah.
to get a lot of votes. Um, and
Or
they're
they're
asking,
just the most vocal.
maybe they're the most
God.
vocal. But I mean, but they do a good job of voting. So
Exactly.
if there's anyone
Exactly.
that needs something built, they should go vote. But they're asking for things like group chat because it's,
Yep.
hey, I have two people, two partners who are buying a house together.
Mhm.
So I need to be able to talk to both of them at the same time. And the realtor wants a group chat with two people on text. And there's other sales cases where they're asking for, hey, we have two internal sales people that need to talk to one lead at the same time. So we're starting to run into those type of cases where we need multiple participants in the conversation instead of just one. And the other highly voted idea is internal team chat. Hey, we
Mhm.
want the internal team to be able to talk to each other. And all of these ideas are linked because whether it's two internal people talking to each other, two internal people talking with one external person, two external people talking with one. So all of this just opens up that idea that, hey, our conversations need to support multiple participants now, and those participants can either be internal or external. So
Mhm.
that's a core idea that we've formed and we're ready for, but we're going to continue to push that forward to make sure that the conversations really open up. And so it'll be channel and participant specific instead of the way it is today with contacts. But we don't want to let go of the current advantages that come with the contact view,
Oh
where you're able
yeah.
to see all
Unified.
history,
Yeah.
yeah, unified view. So how do we make sure that we can support both? And Slack does this now, interestingly, where if you look at it, they've launched a new UI and you can switch between the different views that you have. They give you a conversation inbox style threaded view where it's all of the messages that matter to you ordered descending, and then you can switch back to that traditional view to go
Hmm.
back and see how things work as well. And we're thinking along similar lines. We're like, hey, it'll be cool if people are able to see contact based conversation view exactly like today, but if they want, they're able to switch over and look at a view that's more focused on them. So it's, hey, what are the messages that I need to respond to, what are the conversations that I'm involved in. And the nice thing with that view is when you go read a message, we can actually mark it as read, because today it's a common inbox for the entire business.
Yeah.
One big complaint that we get is, hey, when I go read it, why doesn't it automatically mark as read? And we explain it to people. We keep telling them, no, it's because it's for the entire business, and if you aren't going to take action, you need to mark it as read, or if you reply, it automatically marks as read. But you can explain it to 1,000 people, you can explain it to 10,000,
Yeah.
50,000, but we're at a point where there's millions of users and there's thousands of hundreds of thousands of people that we never talk to. So instead of
Mhm.
trying to explain it to every person, let's make sure that high level can work either way and they can decide how they want to use it.
Like when they click and open it, it notices that it's been clicked to open
And
and
that's it.
moves
It's
it
marked
kind of
as read.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of training, but mainly mine is more on the sales training kind of thing of like, what your process should be. And I'm like, mark as read. If I see 812 communications, you're not marking them as, you're not doing your job. I mean, really, when you mark it as done or you task complete, that's like, it's kind of common sense. We can't do everything. I mean, like a lot of people say automations. It's like automations are great, but you still got to make a phone call, or even if you set it to dial for you or a manual
I
action,
mean, but those are some
it,
interesting areas that we're exploring. But that's the thing, right? Is all software is built because humans are at some level lazy. But
right.
I mean, that's how we got into the nurture and the follow up, and that's kind of where high level started to take off. But today we're working on AI stuff for things like calls. So we have voice AI coming out, where
Hmm.
you put a script together and you just feed it the script, and it will place an outbound call, and it will ask the first question, get the response, and it'll just follow the script to get all of the responses in and hang up. So you could have it call out, even say that it's a bot, have it gain in, I mean, check if there's interest. Hey, are you interested? Can I schedule a follow up for you with a live person? Can I book you in for an appointment?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, book that in and hang up the call. So we're working on voice AI
Yeah,
to actually
we might, will we be able to add humor because the ha ha on the demo I heard was pretty funny. When you ha ha, So I know that in itself technology is going to change, growing,
yeah.
but that'll be really fun. The other thing is being able to, gosh, there's so many people that have put up chat widgets and support widgets and things like that, and I know that that is coming, and is that going to be a piece of the conversation AI, or is this just going to be another piece?
No, it will work with the conversation AI. So I think the way the chat will work is you throw it on your website, it's live chat, but in conversation AI, it's one of the channels. So
Mhm.
along with SMS, Facebook Messenger, Insta, whatever, you just pick live chat as one of the channels and it'll be able to answer for you. I think one cool update that's going to come out. So today with the conversation bot, it drives the conversation. You can't drive it because you just say, "Hey, I turn this on for an account, and any question that comes in, it's going to decide to answer, and it will
Mhm.
answer only when a question comes in." So you're not driving the lead towards an outcome. They need to send messages in to be able to get something.
Mhm.
But we're coming out with a workflow action that will work with the same training, the same set of instructions, and everything you have set up, but you can drive the conversation. So you can say a new lead comes in, and you can go into a workflow and say, "Hey, I want conversation AI to ask this question, see
Mhm.
what the response is, and go down these 4 or 5 paths based off the response." And then you can ask another question, get the response, and go down certain paths. So then you can drive the conversation towards an outcome instead of just waiting around to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm really excited to load up the help library and just have a little chat and just let it go with all that data. It's just exciting, just I love the conversations AI piece. I think if we keep adding to that, it's just going to be brilliant. I mean, nobody's going to have anything to I don't have to hire help anymore. No. Crystal's going to be out. She don't have to talk to people. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I don't know. Is there anything that you want to share with these guys? Like most of who we work with are all agencies. They're all SaaSpreneurs. Is there anything that you would tell anybody, or if you had the whole stage to talk to everybody, is there anything that you can fill us in that what can we do? What can we do that's going to make your life better to keep doing what you're doing? Is there any notes or tips or tricks that you can share with us to really stay involved and be a part of what's going on and know where to find things and all that good stuff?
Yeah. No, so I think the engagement really helps. Like internally, we have certain core values or missions that we run the company on. And one of the biggest ones is customer first, which is no matter what, we listen to our customers, we help our customers, we really pay attention. And even if we get calls in the middle of the night, whatever it is, when the team wakes up, no one complains because we know why we're doing it, we're
Mm-hmm.
passionate about it. I think that's really important to us, and that funnels into product development as well. Which ideas that we decide to pick up and build, and even while we're building the idea, something that I push the engineering team really hard on is you need to be talking to customers. If you're not talking to customers, no matter how good of an engineer you think you are, you're still not building something that the customer wants, because there will be a disconnect. If you're sitting by yourself in your room and you're writing code, you're not building what customers want. So even if people are on the engineering team, we push them to take at least and that's the bare minimum, one call a week with a customer. And it can be about a bug, it can be based off a support ticket, it can be through a thread on Facebook, but you need to jump on a call with at least one customer a week. And that's the minimum criteria. Same thing for the product team. And with the product team, we're setting up the mini town halls as well to bring them closer to customers. I still jump into the group and keep replying to all the threads, active on Messenger. So as a company, we try to stay as close to the customer as possible, and that's what has gotten us so far. And as we grow, we're trying to make sure that as new people come in, the team was maybe 20 the first year, 30, like
Mm-hmm.
outside of engineering, this is all of high level, but today we're about 700 people. So
Wow.
that big of a size, how do you make sure that as new people come in, they understand what's important to you as a company? So we really keep emphasizing on that. The other thing we really push for is the skateboard model, which is kind of popular now, and a bias for action is don't wait, just find a way to solve the problem. Don't ask for permission, don't do anything. Like, you've talked to a customer, there's a problem, act. Like, if you try to solve the problem and you fail, that's fine, but if you don't do anything and you just wait around, that's actually worse.
Hmm.
So we push people to try to solve the problem as quickly as possible. And with the skateboard, it's how do we solve as quickly as possible with the smallest version. And I think a misconception is skateboard means, you just put one wheel on the floor and, you expect people to somehow get around with it. So it still needs to be functional. We don't release things that no one can use. And for most people, I see a lot of complaints in the Facebook group of people saying, hey, you know it isn't ready yet, they released it too early. But what they don't see is, on the other side, there are people for who it's not ready yet, but on the other side, we're able to see thousands of accounts that are using the version that we put out on a daily basis and seeing success with it. So it might not be ready for you yet, but
Right?
it was enough for a lot of people that are already seeing success with it. And there's huge teams that we put behind this. So it might not be ready for you today, it might not be ready for you next month, but guess what? The month after that, it will be ready for you. So we will get there.
Yeah. And I can attest to that from since I've even been and I'm not even fully 5 years yet. I came in at 3.5, and just from the 3.5 years of being a user and a trainer and looking at it, you just know, it's like I just know when you guys come up with something, I'm like, oh wow, I can't wait to see what are they gonna do next. It's coming, something's coming. And so I think, if we get all into that mode, it makes it really exciting. I don't like the negativity. I'm not a negative person. I know if there's a problem, we're going to figure out a way to fix it. I know you guys are going to
I mean,
figure
that's
out to fix
actually a
it.
question that we used to, and I believe we still ask during the interview. We ask people if they think they're lucky, and and that tells us a lot. So
That's great. I love it. I love it. Oh, wait. Okay. So I want to make sure we get you off on time. Crystal, are there any questions that we have or anything that I'm missing? Of course, I haven't been paying attention.
Not direct questions, but Laura is definitely, she's like, I am ready to upgrade to SaaS now. She also thought
Oh,
it was
good.
really, yeah, she also thought it was really cool, like being able, like, getting to the point of being able to be the driver as well. So I thought that was really cool. And for me personally, I mean, it's just such an honor to like sit here and hear everything from the back end and all the things that you guys do with your 200 engineers and an entire team. I actually do use this software daily. I'm in it
She's
all
a
the
user.
time.
Yeah,
I
she's definitely.
love it, love it. I've worked with Kathy for years and I have been through all the CRMs in the world. And I'm like, thank goodness
Well, you know
we
what's
have
funny,
something
Crystal?
amazing. This
Hey,
is awesome.
Crystal, you know what's funny with that is for the first year, it was like, oh, we have something new. Oh, I got to show you something new. She's like, there's always something new.
I'm like,
I'm like, I
what's
know.
my
I got to show you something else
I'm like,
today.
what's my training today? But
yeah,
honestly, like, and also I love the whole high level vibe. Like, I am in the group, I don't contribute as much because I'm more on the small corner of the flagstone of things. Kathy is like the genius of it all, and I'm just like the right
No,
and left on.
Varun is the genius of it all.
Well, on
no.
on
I
our
just do what
team.
he
It
says.
seems, I mean, it might seem like it, but like I said, we really just listen to all of the feedback that we get from all of you. And I appear smart because I'm just echoing the feedback that I've heard from 100 of our customers or from 500 customers. So we're really all just voices for our customers here.
I think that's what's really cool is the whole high level vibe is just really really cool. What you guys have done from ground zero to this point, it's really really fun to be kind of going along that journey with you in my little small corner and just seeing it. And then when I have strategy meetings with Kathy, she gets very excited over a lot of things, and sometimes it's definitely tech over my head, but I'm like, yes, I'm with you, because her motivation and excitement is so powerful that it just trickles down. And I think that's something that you guys set the bar with. So it's just an honor to have you here, and I really do appreciate being a part of the team.
Yeah. And
Thank
what's going to be really great, Varun, is man, we're just hitting the surface. I mean, we've only got 47K people in our group. We're missing the whole other 200K. So get ready. There's going to be more people talking at you because you got all of us affiliates out here talking more stuff. So
you. For sure.
awesome. Well, we're going to let you go so you can get us ready for Level Up. And I'm excited. So I'll see you in what, a week and a half? So,
Yep.
yeah.
And I can't wait for Kathy to come back and tell me how awesome everything was, because she showed me the schedule and I'm
I
like,
mean, the team
whoa.
has a lot planned. I think there's a couple of surprise parties or something in there as well, but the team has a lot planned. And even with the deck, just the releases, I think will be incredible. I think we have great speakers, and the
Oh, yeah.
parties. We're not doing the same as last year, but we have some cool parties planned.
Yay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for to have some fun. I mean, I've been kind of stuck in the
Laura's like, oh yeah, see y'all at
Oh,
the Level Up.
sweet. Okay,
Yeah, so
good,
Laura's
good,
gonna be
good.
there.
All right, good. I know there's a few people in this group coming, so excited to see y'all for sure. Well, again, thanks Varun for taking the time to hang out with us. We'll do this again sometime later, maybe first after we get some more good stuff coming. But we're excited to see what you guys do. Excited to have your team. Excited to be able to chat with you. Love it. And I'm going to let you go get back to Level Up. So thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Crystal. Bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
see you in the group.